Life was good for Susan and Eric Zanner in the 80s, having just moved into their new home in the picturesque neighborhood of Bexley, Ohio. 2 doors down, Jill and Dwayne Meyer moved in, and as fate would have it, lifelong friendships evolved.
I often say the best friends you make in your life, you make when you have young kids.
We all bought our very first house in North Bexley, and we were all young couples, and we started having our children. Everybody had a baby about once a year.
We were always having babies, so Jill would just wander around in the backyard, usually holding somebody else's babies or volunteering to take them to the Maryland school playground.
Our children played together, and we just had a really wonderful time.
The Zanner clan quickly expanded with the addition of Margot, John, and Diane. Susan embraced motherhood and a career in education with a passion. The Meyer family grew as well. Jill worked as a nurse in addition to being a great mom.
I taught school in Bexley for years. I was a school board member in Bexley. My whole life was kind of about kids and sporting events and school.
Flash forward to 2006. With 2 kids in college, things didn't seem to be slowing down for Susan at all.
My oldest daughter wanted to go on a trip with her college friends, and so for my 50th birthday, I got to go to Las Vegas with a bunch of TCU juniors and their parents, which was really kind of fun. And because it was my 50th birthday and I was celebrating, I decided I would have my regular mammogram, just like you're supposed to, get all my checkups. I was celebrating this milestone. And while we were in Las Vegas, my husband actually got a call from my doctor here that said, I need to talk to Susan. And so here I was in Las Vegas not knowing what was going on. And the minute I got home, I wound up back in the doctor's office and I was scheduled for surgery that very day.
Susan was diagnosed with breast cancer, and almost instinctively, she knew who to call.
The first call I made was to Jill, knowing that she was a nurse, knowing that she wouldn't say, oh, it's probably nothing, don't worry about it, but that she would stay on the phone with me and she would say, how are you feeling about this? What are your options? And I always knew she'd be there.
And I've always just been kind of a caregiver. I would put that as my role, and I think my nursing, obviously that was a nice occupational choice for being a caregiver.
My best friend, Jill Meyer, now living in Wausau, Wisconsin, never failed to care for me, flying in for appointments, cooking meals, encouraging me even when I said, I can't do this anymore. She stuck by me like glue. Just like a sister, she was often the first person we turned to with medical questions or to advocate when necessary. I think Jill has made it a point to see me at least 10 times a year, so we're talking 80 times.
I have a very wonderful, endearing husband, Dwayne, who most of the time drives me, a lot of the time because I'm not a great big fan of flying.
She just came, and she would tell me I had to eat, and she would tell me to get up and get moving, and it's just what a sister friend does.
Then, in 2012, Susan's daughter Margot and fiance John got married.
We let her go to college in Texas, I don't know why, and she met a Texan. So, of course, when she decided to get married, we had to have a big fat Texas wedding.
Susan had just gone through all of her tests and everything had come back, and so it was not only a celebration of John and Margot's wedding, it was a celebration of just getting another year under her belt.
And I remember walking down the aisle and sitting in my seat, and I was so proud of my daughter. And I remember looking up there, and I couldn't see out of my right eye. And we came home, and so I went to the eye doctor, and he said, you know, something's not right here. I was diagnosed with a tumor behind my right eye, which was successfully radiated by Dr. Julia White and all her bright stars, and they shrunk that tumor. But not before Doctors White and Shapiro determined that my breast cancer had returned and metastasized. Although I had not been deemed triple negative before, my cancer had morphed into triple negative this go-around, for which there is no cure.
I got a text from her and she wrote, I have metastatic cancer. And that's how she told me. And I said, we gotta get to Ohio.
After coming to grips with the shock of such a daunting prognosis, these 2 amazing ladies would make a conscious decision to meet challenges head-on and to live life to its fullest.
We went over to Hope's Boutique and we bought these bracelets, and the one we liked the most was this "No One Fights Alone," because basically it just became our mantra. And we bought way too many of these bracelets, and we stuck them in the envelopes, and we mailed them pretty much to everybody that we knew.
And it has been just so much fun, and we have shots from all over the world.
In Tibet, they've been in Japan, in the Eiffel Tower, they've been in the Rocky Mountains. But the fun part for me is when I'm at home or when I was in treatment, I could see people and they would always show me their bracelet. And it was Jill who said, "We can do this."
Jill also knew Susan loved to write, so with a little encouragement, they established a blog for Susan on Caring Bridge, a sharing website.
And the beauty of Caring Bridge for me is not only have about 25,000 people read my journal since January of this year, which is fabulous, but it has given me such a great outlet. And I always say to people, when you have cancer, sometimes social media is your only outlet. And on days when you feel bad, it's a way for you to talk.
Fundraising has become another outlet for Susan and Jill. Together, they have raised over $10,000 for the Hope's Boutique and another $6,000 for the nurses at the Spielman Center. And with all of this, Susan continues to realize the many blessings that each day brings.
I don't take any day for granted. I try and travel when I can. I've learned to fly fish. I tried to get my big body up on water this summer. I snow ski. It's because it's here and it's now. And that's what life's all about. But more importantly, it's about the relationships that we make and what we give to one another. And what I've learned in 8 years is that people are immensely gracious and immensely loving, and that there is no better way to live than the way they've shown me. I have been blessed with endless support from dear friends and family. But when God offered me these riches, He sent this one best friend, Jill Meyer, who would be here for perhaps an early twilight in my life, and whom my own husband and children can depend on for life. She listens patiently and dearly, her hand in mine, as we work to discern God's plan for me. She is my angel.